Happy Sunday, everybody. Today, you won't see these today because I won't get the video done today, but today we're gonna do baby back ribs. And yep, lots of people do baby back ribs. This is nothing unique to a cooking channel, and you're going like, thought this was RV cooking, special, different than normal. Well, not always. Sometimes it's gonna be some stuff, but hey, we're Canadian, so there's gonna be a game changer in this. And I didn't invent it, but I did try it, and another big Instagram channel tried it. They like it. So anyways, stick around. It's snowing again and cold and bleh. But we're Canadian, so this is just normal, and we grill anyway. So stick around, we'll be right back. Okay, so you should always pull your silver skin off the back, or membrane, whatever you call it. And this butcher went too deep with his knife, so he split the middle. But looks like they're gonna come nice anyway. And voila. So it's important to get that off of there. Okay, now we've got the silver off, or the membrane as you call it. And then I did all the dressing, rinsed them off, made sure there's no little pieces of bone anywhere from the saws. And so this is a mystery for you. This is actually, I put it in an old HP squeeze bottle because it's just handier than the jar that it comes in. This is called Rolled Gold, and it's by House of Q, which is a Canadian company here. And what it is, just basically, it's just seasoned mustard. And a lot of guys do this. You just rub down some seasoned mustard, some yellow mustard on your ribs, get on them sides there. And the purpose of this is basically to get your rub to stick. So you really want that rub to stick. And if you put on a little bit of yellow mustard, which has no flavor, it adds no flavor to pork when you cook with it. And so once we got this on here, now we can go ahead and start adding some seasoning. Today's lineup for these ribs, we've got some whiskey bent barbecue, another one of my absolute favorites, some old-fashioned dry rub. Again, we're going to use the Holy Gospel rub from Meat Church. Honey bacon barbecue, again, limited edition they had out. I think they still make this, so I bought a bunch, so it's great stuff. This is also from Meat Church, and one of my favorite companies, Code 3. This is their 5-0 rub, so a lot more savory than their backdraft, and not as much heat. So let's go ahead and hit these. I always start with the underside first, let it set up on there, and then we can flip them over, and all this rub will stick nice. Remember, get up under your side, get on your sides good. Don't be scared to use some spice, hey? There's nothing conservative about good ribs. Everybody that likes good ribs or cooks ribs will tell you that there's no room for conservative. So I start with a quick layer of the Holy Gospel, and then on the underside I tend to use a little bit of the honey bacon barbecue, if I could ever get it open. There we go. And I'll hit it with a layer of this. Gives that a little bit of sweetness. We're going to add some sweetness later in the cook. I'm going to show you about that. That'll be about 2 hours in. Get that in there nice. Okay. All right, now we're going to flip it over and do the same to the other side. All right, so same thing on the meat side, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to hammer it with a little bit of this rolled gold, and from House of Q here in Canada. It's actually the only Canadian spice I'm using today. Spice or rub, whatever you want to call it, mustard, spice mustard. There's other purposes for this too. House of Q is a great product. If you ever want to go on their website, they make some terrific barbecuing stuff. We got a great cookbook from them too. So on this side, I'm going to lay down some Old Fashioned first. And I'm running out of Old Fashioned, so I got to make another order. So I'm just going to actually hit that with absolutely all that's left of it. Look at that, and that's it for that bad boy. So that's gonna soak in there, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of Holy Gospel here. Oh, wrong side. Okay, and we'll get that on there. And the salts in this will bring out some moisture anyway, so it gets a good base layer to stick with the House of Q spice mustard. And then the salts in the spices will bring out some moisture too. So we hammered it with a little of that, and now we're gonna finish it and dress it with a little bit of 5-0 rub. You see some darkness here. It's a lot more savory. This is gonna give your ribs a nice smoky taste along with the actual smoke you're going to get out of your smoker. Okay, get these ends nice. Okay, all right, so we are rubbed and ready, and in about 10 minutes that smoker is going to be up to temp. Going to run these at 225 all day. You know, I always say pro tip. I'm not really a pro, so obviously it's just a Brad tip. But this bucket, this locking bucket with the rubber seal that my wife got me from her work when it was empty, is great storage for your pellets. Now some people just leave them in the bag or whatever, but I'll tell you what, these go stale just like anything else. So if you don't want stale pellets, you want the best quality you can to cook the best quality food you can, then keep those pellets sealed up. All right, these ribs are ready to go. We got the wireless thermometer in there. So let's get these babies out on the grill. All right, let's go get these on. So sit back here. We're at 225 degrees. Them in there. So you may be asking yourself, one rack of ribs? Well, yes, one rack of ribs, because today for supper there is just my wife and I. Usually Sunday we gather and we prepare a bigger feast, but with what's going on, today's one rack of ribs, and we've done a lifestyle change where we're trying to eat healthier. You know, getting a little older, so definitely want to start watching my diet a little bit, and we're gonna have lots of good extra fixings to go with the ribs. So 2 hours from now is how long those ribs are gonna be in there at 225 degrees, and we'll be back. Okay, so the ribs have been in for 2 hours. I just wanted to show my lineup. This is new to me, this Parquet squeeze butter. I found that down in the States. We don't have that in Canada. So we'll be using that. We'll be using some agave and some apple juice and some brown sugar. And this is just a tin pan that you get at Costco. So I do mine wrapped a little differently than some people. So let me go get this camera set up and show you how I prep, and then we'll put those ribs in. So basically I use one little kid's juice box of Sunripe apple juice, and put that in the tray, squeeze that in there, all of it. That's exactly the right amount. And then first I take a little of the agave. Now this is the game changer, okay? This is the difference between using honey and using agave. It's a lot thinner, and I put a good slather into this in there, some swirlies into the bottom of the pan. Okay, and now I'm going to run out and grab those ribs. I just wanted to do a drive-by here. So we got nice bark going, and now we're ready to get this into stage 2. Okay, now we got the ribs in the pan. I'm gonna hit it with some of this parquet. Nice soft squeeze butter. Then we let that melt on there for a minute and I'll bring you right back. Okay, that took about 10 seconds for that to melt in there. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer this with some brown sugar. Don't be scared to use lots. You can't really overdo it. This is going to give us that nice tack on top. A little bit of sweetness. Get those sides good, right on your corners. You know, don't do like your mom used to do and put the peanut butter in the center of the bread, the size of a silver dollar, and call it a sandwich. Okay, good food takes time, takes extra care, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this, but hey, I want good food. I want my wife to have good food. Okay, so now we got a nice big coating of brown sugar, dark brown sugar on there, high molasses content. Now we're going to take this agave again. This is where normally you would take your honey, and I'm going to just zigzag this like crazy. Make sure that it's running just about all over everywhere here, and then I'll make a couple of passes this way, just like mowing your lawn. Cross cut, cross cut. Okay, oh, look at that, missed that corner. See, Mr. Perfection screwed up. Okay, now we got a nice coating of agave. We've got the brown sugar, we've got the butter, we've got the bottom has apple juice in it. Now we're just going to give it a tent wrap. Now understand, I am not very good at that. I am not a carpenter, I am not a builder, so my wife is going to come in here and wrap this up for me, show you how you tent it up nice so you're not laying on the ribs. I know a lot of people wrap it so that, you know, they just wrap it in foil and you say, well, what's the difference? Well, this is my difference. This is one of the things I do differently. Lisa does such a nice job of this.
There you go.
And she's got it finished up. All right, let's go hammer this back out. Gonna throw this back in the smoker again at 225. So it did its first 2 hours at 225. Now it's going back in for another 2 hours at 225. All right, that's been another 2 hours, and we've got these bad boys out of the. Let me just transition that down for you. Okay, and what we're going to do is you can watch the steam on your fingers here. So you had the choice of either wrapping them in foil, or I prefer to put them in the cooking pan this way. Okay, and there you go. Now we'll get these out and get them onto the cutting board. Okay, so I sauce both sides of my ribs, and today we're going to be using Code 3 Patriot sauce. And let me tell you, if you've never tried this, you are missing out. So we're going to just take and hammer some of this on the underside. Nice, thick, it's tangy, it's got great flavor. I don't put a ton underneath, but you definitely want to get some of this goodness all underneath on the bottom side of your ribs too, because you don't just eat one side of ribs. So let me get this all sauced up, and then we'll flip over and get the other side. Okay, now we just finishing up the meat side here. Got a nice coating on there. Make sure you get the sides. And now we just go fire this back in, and again we're back at 225, and we'll be back in 40 minutes. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to slice these ribs up. I'm going to plate them and show you the full meal deal. I don't think I need to teach you how to slice ribs. Okay, time for the plated up inaugural flyby. Look at that, look at that. Wife made coleslaw, we got corn on the cob, we got ribs, and you know what? We got Christmas napkins, because when Daddy-O makes ribs in this house, it is Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. It is Christmas. All right, so first rib, chef always gets the first bite. Oh, Gary, Blake, James, Anybody who thinks they can throw down against this, you're gonna lose, boys. You're gonna lose. All right, everybody, thanks for letting us share our food with you again. And like I just said, after my official first bite down, the agave is a game changer. If you've never tried it, I'd suggest maybe. You never know, you might like it. So we're gonna sit down and we're gonna hammer this fantastic meal that we're so thankful to be able to have right now. Again, quarantine doesn't mean you gotta eat Cheetos and craft dinner, you guys. So all made simple. You can make this in your RV. You can make coleslaw in your RV. Some of you might say, hey, why did you put those ribs in the smoker in the foil for 2 hours and waste pellets? Well, the idea is you can put those in your oven for those 2 hours because, let's face it, it's sealed up and not getting the smoke. But your grill's already hot, your grill's already going. You don't need to have a smoker. If all you have in your RV or in your yard or at home is a grill or charcoal or propane, doesn't matter what it is. With propane, put some wood chips in there and use a smoke tube, and that'll give you that nice smoke. Just control that temperature at 250 and you got yourself some fantastic ribs. So anyways, anybody wants to throw down, you know where to find me. Have a great day and stay safe, everybody.